Hey everybody, aloha. Welcome to the inaugural presentation of YouTube channel of Just Talking 24. As you can see, this is the, sorry about that. You're going to be hearing noises every so often because I live on the main track, the main roadway, and every so often a car goes by. I film these things at about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning to keep the noise way down as far as I can. My name is Cam, and I will be taking you on hopefully is going to be a wondrous voyage throughout news, throughout talking. And that's what this is all about. This is just talking. Um, we're going to be talking about subjects that you, as the followers and my gang, uh, give to me in the comments below. Please, like they say, subscribe and like. And this is a work in progress. I'm going to stress that right from the beginning. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm a beginner, and I hope to grow and learn as we all grow and learn. But before we start, let me tell you a little bit about some rules, okay? Like every game we play, everything you play, you have to know the rules. My rules are really simple. Three easy rules. Number one, let's keep the topics G. Okay, let's keep it clean. No vulgarity, no kinkiness. You can go off the norm, but let's keep it cleanly off the norm. Number two, no politics, and I mean governmental politics. We just had an election, and this is December of 2024. So we just had a presidential election, and believe me, the the YouTube, the internet is just full of political opinions and what they're saying, and it just everybody's just spinning their wheels. Let's just wait and see what happens, right? So you know, we do have some say in what to do, but unless we come and we have a following of 30 or 40 million people behind us, um, it really doesn't make a difference. We just have to go and do our changes in the prescribed way by our rules and regulations. Everything has rules and regulations. Um, Number three, no religion. And I'll explain that later, but based the government and the religion subjects, you can't win. You just spin tires. If a person has his opinion, the person has his opinion. And I'm like that too. I am opinionated. But if you give me a good reason to change, I'll change. I'm not set in stone. Okay. I'm setting this telecast, or whatever you call it, broadcast, podcast, whatever. I don't even know what it's called yet. But it's not set in stone. I have a beginning point. And from there, I'm hoping that my basic values in common sense and deduction, which is what I get a lot of my opinions from, is solid enough to withstand your contests. If not, I welcome not an argument, I welcome discussion. It's called just talking, and that's all we're doing. No violence, no, um, I want it to be positive. I want us to get out of this a positive influence, a positive reaction, a positive change in our lives so that we can all go forward and become better people. But before you go on and start making a decision, you better learn about me. Nowadays, everything has labels, yeah? Everyone has a label, and, they want to know, well, what are you? Well, in the 60s, well, I'm a old school, okay? You can tell. That's number one. I'm old, okay? They used to ask you, what sign were you born under? And I tell them, no smoking, oxygen in use. And they look at me. I understand, astrology. I don't debunk it. I just don't choose to believe it. But anyway, so today it's the same thing. It's the same thing over and over. That's one thing that I'm going to tell you. One of my labels is I am a humanist. I am a racist, if you want to call it that. I love the human race, but I love studying the human race. I like to people watch. When we go traveling and we go to shopping malls, I will pick a spot, sit down, tell people, just bring your bags over here and I'll be the collection point. And I watch people, watch their interactions, family. I see their different. Well, we go to Vegas most of the time, Las Vegas, and so you get people from all over the world, and you see different clothing and different mannerisms, and I just think that the different cultures are so fascinating. I grew up Honolulu, Hawaii, and if you've never visited here, what you're gonna find is that we are multicultural. East, we have Filipinos, Chinese, Koreans, Thailandese, Cambodians, Indians, Japanese, and then from the West we have primarily Anglo-Saxons, whites. We have Portuguese, we have Puerto Ricans, and now we have some Mexicans. They're catching on to the construction industry, good worker constructions. But when I grew up, it was nothing to have these multi races. And look at the kids today, and the kids are my classmates. I mean, they were, you had a lot of what we call purebreds. They got they got papers, like kennels, right? Well, most of us were poi dogs or mixed. And we never really grew up focusing on that. And so for us, this racial thing, Hawaii is opposite. We're, if anything, anti-white. That's because of all the stuff that the white people, like any other society with its non-white, what the white people did to us. Anyway, so yes, I'm a racist. I'm a realist, okay? If it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And I will call it a duck. And if you don't, I'm sorry, but if you don't like it, and I apologize now, I will sound offensive because I like to start at the baseline. Anything, you start at the baseline, you can go any way you want, but you gotta have your feet firmly on the ground. If aside from high jumping, if you look at any professional sport, footwork is one of the most important things you can do. Whether it be football, basketball, golf, tennis, whatever, a physical sport, boxing, footwork is one of the most important things. Why? Because that's your foundation. If you got a solid foundation, you'll have a solid performance. And that's true with everything in life. And so I am a realist. I am also, like I told you, I'm old. I'm 69 years old. I've been married for over 30 years to the same woman. Yay! I know, kudos to her. And I'm basically an optimist. I like to look at the silver lining of things. And it's the good news, bad news kind of thing. I believe that there has to be balance. I try to live a balanced life. But sometimes you lean more to one side than to the other side. During my speeches, I will be using 5 terms, and I believe that I have to explain them now. The first term, and there's no particular priority except for the last one. The last one is the most important, and that's why I saved it for last. Okay. The first one is TP, toilet paper. If I refer to toilet paper, I am referring to college diplomas. Now, if you've watched the guy Charlie Kirk, he thinks college is a scam. It's not a scam, it's a business. And businesses, if they're positive or negative, there are colleges out there that give you really good education. And there are colleges out there like Was it Lori Laughlin? She got arrested for buying her kids into USC or something like that. It's a religion. I mean, it's a business, and every business can be corrupted by money. That's just the way it is. But so the diplomas, to me, all they're good for is wiping your butt and hanging on the wall. But until you show me that you have actually learned something, it is, to me, toilet paper. That's all it is. I've seen engineers. We just had a repaving on our freeway. And then after they've paved, they have to draw lines. Well, these guys drew the line, the solid line, so long that it almost forces a person to do an illegal lane shift. Nobody catches it. They did a widening program on one of our major roadways that lead out to East Oahu. This is years ago. But after they widened the road, the residents there threatened the government workers. They said, okay, this is the deadline. Every day after the deadline, it's going to cost a job. And we're going to start cutting jobs. And they're going to use referendum to fire people. They were going to fire government workers. Did you know the project was completed 2 weeks early? But after it was completed, lo and behold, the sidewalks don't fit ADA. There are places on that sidewalk, because of where the power poles are and where the easement to the property is, there's a wall. It's not wide enough for a wheelchair. And the solution in Hawaii is leave it alone long enough, people forget about it. And sure enough, there has been nothing done. What it would cost would be you'd have to take away either part of the lane, and there's a bike lane there, or part of the people's property to make it wider. And we're talking just inches, but still yet. It's just, they just put it off in the back and let people just forget about it. It's done all the time. When, if government comes on you, they start fining you and everything. Nothing happened to the government. Why? No responsibility. But that's toilet paper, okay? Unless you show me that you actually learned something, that piece of paper is just a piece of paper. Number 2 is forest. And I'm not talking about the place where all the green grass grows and the trees and the birds and the bees. I'm talking about the movie Forrest Gump. Like that movie. And in that movie, there's a lot of cliches. And in a lot of movies, there are a lot of cliches. You learn a lot of lessons, life's lessons from movies. But Forrest, the one in Forrest that stands out the most is not the box of chocolate. It's stupid is as stupid does. Really simple. Really. So if I go, hey, Forrest, that means either the act that you perform or what you told me, what you told me makes no sense at all. It's stupid. But instead of calling it stupid, you don't want to insult the person, just call him Forrest. That's what I do. So I will say that a lot. I will call you Forrest, or I will say a Forrest moment, but that's all it is. It's people that really exhibited some really weird and dumb behavior, which that's why I don't want to talk about government. Okay. The third one is everybody uses it. I use not the sharpest tack. That's not sharpest tack thing. And that's not the sharpest tack in a box. Well, we've heard all the a lot of cliches for it. The elevator doesn't go all the way to the penthouse. Not playing with a full deck. Missing he's a quart low. But I use not the sharpest tack in the box, because at least we're still in the box. Okay, so we have hope we can sharpen ourselves, because I do those things. All of these things I'm telling you, I am not immune from them. I do them. Okay? Hey, I'm not some super computer or some super smart person. I'm just, Joe Blow average. I'm just one of the bananas in a bunch. So if you guys don't mind being called bananas, hey, banana, what's up? Okay. And number four, and this one is not well. It isn't because it's a natural human tendency, and it's called the river. I'm gonna tell you, get out of the river. Okay. The river I'm referring to is in Egypt, right? But instead of the Nile, it's the Nile, and it's a defensive mechanism that we all use. When you hear something you don't want to hear it, you deny it. When you get blamed for something that you don't want to take the blame for, you deny it. If it's a reality that you don't want to face up to, you deny it and run away. It's a natural, and it is. That's the human nature. Human beings, we're animals. Okay, we're social hurdle animals by basic. Oh, and let me get this straight right now. Let me settle this. When I speak of something, there are no absolutes. Okay? The only two absolutes I have is number one, that there is a God, and number two, we're all gonna die. Okay? Every organism has a beginning and an end. That's the only two absolutes there are. Everything in between is on a bell curve. Remember when you're in school? I don't know if you had it, but our teachers would say, "Hey, do you want this test graded on a standardized curve or you want a class curve?" And the class curve is the majority of people would get the passing, and then and that score, that majority, would be it could be anything. Could be if it was an easy test, like the example he gave that day. A majority of people got 95. Yeah, 95 out of 100. They never get 95s, but the questions were so easy that even if you got 100, you couldn't get an A because there weren't enough people getting. I mean, there were a lot of people that got 100, but too many to give everybody an A. But we got Bs. Okay. And he said, "There's no A on this." I said, "We're over there. Why not?" He said, "Because there was no one person that excelled beyond it. I mean, how can you get better than perfect, right?" And that's a class curve. And the standardized curve is, it doesn't matter, what your score actually mattered to the grade. Like, 90 to 100 was an A, or if it goes 95 to 100 is an A. So if everybody got 98, everybody got A's. And that's, we learned that go by the standardized, and then you get the few guys that didn't study for the test that they want the class curve because at least they're not going to get an F. I said, no, you're still going to get an F, but you're going to get a higher grade F if there's such a thing. But when I speak of something, I speak on the class curve, not a standardized thing. The majority of what I say is true. Of course, there are exceptions on both sides to everything. But I'm not dealing with the exceptions. I'm dealing with the general rules. So when I speak on the general rule. And so don't nitpick me and say, oh, but so and so, and I understand, yeah, there are exceptions. But for the general public, for most of us, for the bananas, fine. But not for the banana pie at the end or, whatever, or the rotten banana at the other side. But even with the rotten bananas, you can make banana bread. So when I say humans are animals, most of us are. And for the most part, we are herdal. We're social. We live together. We're supposed to do that. And because of that herd theory, when we're under stress or we're under threat, we run. Herd animals will run. They spook. Back in 2018, on January the 13th, I was working, and I used to work in healthcare. And I had just come out of one of the patient's rooms, and I was a healthcare tech in a critical care in a local hospital. And so one of the things I did at about 7:30 in the morning was to check. In each room, we had this nurse server, and it has your syringes, the, the the supplies that nurses need all the time that are in the room in a cabinet. So you check the supplies every day. That's one of the jobs you do. Well, I had just come out of this room and I heard a weird alarm sound. It's like a whoop whoop. And I go, what the heck is that? Because in a critical care unit, you're used to hearing alarms. The vent, the monitor, the bed, IV pump, any other kind of suction pumps, whatever. But you hear alarms, you go over there and you take care of it. If it's something major, you call the nurse. If not, you take care of it. A lot of times it's just a reset. But I heard a weird alarm. And when I walked outside, everyone was looking at their phones. I understand everybody has the smartphone. Well, unfortunately, I'm too stupid, okay? I have a flip phone, so I don't get those messages. I don't even have texting. I don't text. Okay, so everybody says, well, I'll text you. I said, no, you won't. They go, what do you mean? I don't text. They go, well, how do you communicate? Duh. We're doing it right now, right? Okay, it's worked for hundreds of years, thousands of years. That's how I communicate. Audibly and in person, eye to eye, so I can see you. Texting to me dehumanizes everything, and I don't like to dehumanize. And I'll go into that. That'll be another day when we talk about dehumanization. But I came out of the room, and everybody was looking at their smartphone. I told them, hey, so what's up? Oh, we're under attack. I go, excuse me? Yeah, we're under attack. I go, what kind of attack? Oh, the North Koreans just shot a missile at us. We're under nuclear attack from North Korea. I go, and I started laughing. They go, no, it says this is not a drill. And it's one of the few times I will get vulgar with a doctor. And I tell him, you know what, brother, that's bullshit. You want to go, it's bullshit. No, it's not. It says it's not a drill. And I just walked away and I laughed. And it took about 40 minutes. And then the alarm went off again. And everybody's looked, they're because they're looking for updates, right? And it said, yeah, it was a mistake. It was an error. And what had happened was these two clowns in our emergency center hit the wrong button. It was supposed to be a test, and they hit the one that said it was not a test. How they put a system in there that is so fragile, I don't know, but that's what they did. In fact, the federal government took over our emergency system, and they monitor it now. They administer it now. They're telling the state, hey, you're too stupid to do it. And hey, stupid is as stupid does, right? That's a forest moment. But anyway, people just were running nuts. The freeway was jam-packed with people. They showed on campus up the UH, people running. Walmart, people rushed to Walmart for protection. I mean, it was total chaos. And, there were people putting their kids in the storm drains, in the residential area. Yeah, they pried off the manhole covers and they're putting their kids down there. And when it came back and it said it was a mistake, the doctor looked at me and I just told him, don't you hate it when I'm right? And I walked away. I said, you don't understand ICBMs. If you did, you would have laughed too. But that's what I mean. People, these are supposed to be educated, right? I mean, doctors, they got the paper, they got the toilet paper. Look how they acted. So I don't speak from just out of my head. I've noticed things and I put them off, file them here, file them there, draw conclusions, and then I'll bring it out to you. That's the way I am going to run these things. The fifth term that I use, and I hope this is the hardest. It's the easiest, but it's the hardest. And that is, I try to kiss. And yeah, I love you too, but that's not the kind of kissing I mean. KISS is an acronym. Keep it simple, stupid. And it's self explanatory. Keep, try and always do it. The subject, simple. So, keep it simple, stupid. The stupid part is for me. It's not for you, it's for me. Okay? It's to keep my feet on the ground. Again, remember with the foundation and solid, keep your feet on the ground. It's to remind me that no matter how much you know, you don't realize how much you don't know. And the older I get, that's what I'm finding out. The more I find out, the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. It's it's comical. It's almost comical. It's like when we were in school and a teacher would tell us there is no such thing as cold. Cold is just absence of heat. And we're over there. What you been smoking? What? Yeah. Cold is the absence of heat. Darkness is the absence of light. We're over there. Yeah, even though it's dark, it's still there, right? I go, yeah, but you can't see it. Right, but doesn't mean it's not there. So the light helps us to see it, but it's still there, even if it's pitch black. So darkness is just an absence of light. And cold is just the absence of heat. Well, same thing, knowledge is ignorance is the absence of knowledge. It's not because you don't know, it's just that you just never you haven't learned it yet. Things, I've talked to people and things I tell them, stuff you're learning today, I forgot. And they look at me and they don't understand it. I said, you'll understand it one day. But so I try to keep everything as simple as possible. And when you keep things that simple, solutions, everything is simple. But it's so simplistic, sometimes you don't want to know it. Remember, I'm a realist. And when you bring it down, and you see what's at the bottom, you see the sludge, you see the dirt, you go, oh, good. And that's, well, that's what that's how I take everything. But I don't let it down because there's always a silver lining for everything. It's like joke we used to say, the guys walking along the sidewalk, and there's a pile of dog poop, and he goes, looks like dog poop, and he pokes it with a stick, and he goes, oh, feels like dog poop, smells like dog poop. Oh, good thing we didn't step in it. There's always a silver lining. But this will be the first. Hopefully, you liked this little snippet. They'll usually run about 20 to 30 minutes long, because anything longer than that, you can get sick and tired of my voice. But please, I hope that you liked it. I hope you want more, and give me your ideas. I will go over them. I will in the beginning. As the viewership grows, it's just going to be physically impossible. But what I'll do is I'll look at them real fast, and I'll pick the ones that I think that are most pertinent. Most people want to know. If a lot of people, like if 10 people, or if a lot of people want to know the same thing, I will pick that. No problem. But like I said, let's keep it clean. Let's keep it government free, politically free, because everything is politics. Everything has politics. So I'm just going to say government politics, and keep it religion free. Reason for the religion part is because I am agnostic. I believe in God. Don't get me wrong. I do believe God. And it depends on what you think God is. It's like I believe in Santa Claus. What do you believe Santa Claus is? To me, Santa Claus is just the personification of the spirit of giving. The spirit of giving. In other words, the feeling of giving. He's just the personification of that. And if at this time of year, Christmas time, you believe in giving and you believe in good, goodwill to all men, you believe in Santa Claus too. Not the physical being, just the feeling, the Christmas spirit and everything. But this has been it's been fun. It's been over 30 minutes already, and 30 minutes really run by fast. So I'm going to end this like I'm going to end everyone with three phrases in Hawaiian. The first one is a hui ho, till we meet again. Ma'alama pono, please take care. And finally, aloha, goodbye. Thank you.